Hey everyone, thank you for tuning in to Team Forbidden's YouTube page again. It is Andrew the Collector here with an updated profile for Volcanics. In my last profile that I did, my build was more of a casual style build, and I asked you guys in the comments if you wanted to see a more competitive build. And this would be perfect timing because the recent set Age of Overlord came out with a new support card for this deck, Fire Recovery. So let's just go ahead and get right into it. This is the most competitive version of this deck I can make, at least until Bonfire comes out next January. So go ahead, and if you want to wait for that card, you can. But if not, then here's the list I got for you. So we're starting out with the 3 ofs. Is going to be 3 Volcanic Shell. The thing about Volcanic Shell is you use it mainly for discard fodder for some of the other cards that we're going to get into. But and this is more for the budgetary options, if you have the money for it, I would recommend going for the Diabell Star package, which mainly consists of 1 or 2 of her, 3 of the original Sinful Spoils Snake Eye, and the secret rare one that searches her. Because the main difference that you do between Volcanic Shell is that Shell is mainly for the discard fodder only. This engine is for the discard fodder as well as getting her out on the board. So if you have the money to spend on this engine, I would go for this one instead of Volcanic Shell and a couple other cards in this deck. So it's up to you which version you want to go for, but if you are more tight on cash, then Shell is definitely the better course that you want to take. And next is going to be 3 Scattershot. If you are not playing 3 Volcanic Scattershot, you are not playing Volcanics. Its effect is that when sent to the graveyard, inflict 500 points to your damage to your opponent. And its second effect is that if it's sent to the graveyard by the effect of a Blaze Accelerator card, you can send 2 other Volcanic Scattershots from your hand and or deck to the graveyard and destroy all monsters your opponent controls. With their trap card, Volcanic Reload, this is basically a quick play Raigeki on your opponent's turn, plus extra burn damage, which is always nice. 3 Volcanic Rocket. It's Rocket. When it's summoned, you can search a Blaze Accelerator card from your deck or graveyard to your hand. So really good searching and recovery in one card. And likewise, we run 3 Volcanic Trooper. When it's normal or special summon, you can add 1 Volcanic card, from your deck to your hand, except for itself. And its second effect is that you can discard a card to special summon 1 bomb token to your opponent's side of the field. And if it is destroyed, your opponent takes 500 points of damage. So this so its second effect pretty much ties into the discard fodder I mentioned earlier. As well, you can also discard 3 Volcanic Rimfire. If this card is sent to the graveyard, you can activate one of the following effects. You can banish this card from the graveyard, and if you do, send 1 Volcanic monster from your deck to your graveyard. Or banish 1 Blades Accelerator card from your face-up or graveyard, and if you do, place 1 Blades Accelerator continuous spell or trap from your hand, deck, or deck to your side of the field. Really, really good card. Like Scattershot, you want to play no less than 3. And with the Sinful Spoils package, off of this card that special summons a level 1 Pyro Monster, this is the one you're going to be summoning most of the time. And then 1 Volcanic Emperor. You only need to run 1 because it is pretty consistent, especially with its graveyard effect to special summon itself. But you can run 2 if you want. You can special summon it from your hand or graveyard by banishing 3 Pyro Monsters or 1 Blaze Accelerator card face up from the field and or graveyard. And you can only special summon it once per turn this way. If it's special summoned this way, inflict 500 points of damage to your opponent for each banished Pyro Monster. Then you can set 1 Volcanic Trap directly from your deck. Pretty broken. Each time your opponent special summons a monster, inflict 500 points of damage to them. Really good boss monster. It's exactly what the deck needed. You can run Volcanic Doomfire in this deck if you want. I would, but I actually don't have mine. So if you want to run that, you can, because there is a way to get it out except for its own summon effect. And then 1 True King Vanisher. I would put Blaster in this position, but I don't have Blaster. But its effect to special summon itself by banishing 2 Pyro Monsters is still really good, and you get to banish the target if all the targets that you banish were fire. So still really good, but I would put Blaster in its place. And then 3 Ash Blossom, it's Ash Blossom, plus it's a fire, so it has really good synergy, especially with Sunlight Wolf, which we'll get into when we get into the extra deck. Off to the spells. 3 of the new Fire Recovery. Its effect is that you target a fire monster in your graveyard, send 1 card from your hand to the graveyard, and if you do, special summon the targeted monster. That is not once per turn, by the way. And its graveyard effect, which is once per turn, is you can banish this card, target 3 of your fire monsters that are banished and or in your graveyard, shuffle them into the deck, and draw 1 card. That effect is once per turn. This card is absolutely busted for this deck, especially ways to recur your monsters like Scattershot, so you can use its effects more than once per match or per duel. The only pet peeve that I have is that this card is not searchable. I mean, Blaze Cannon, which is a raw deck, is always considered a Blaze Accelerator card or Volcanic card or whatever, but this isn't. I mean, it has freaking Scattershot in the artwork. I mean, obviously they want this to be in Volcanics more than anything, but yeah, it's whatever. That's my only pet peeve, is that it's not searchable. Otherwise, this card is extremely broken. If it was searchable, this deck's consistency would be ranked up to 10. Speaking of consistency, I'm running 3 Fire Rejection. Send 1 Pyro monster from your deck to your graveyard, and if it was a Volcanic monster, you can either inflict damage to your opponent equal to its level times 100, or special summon a bomb token to your opponent's side of the field. Same thing with Trooper. If it would be destroyed, they lose 500 points. Really good Foolish Burial card. Unfortunately, it's not a Blaze Accelerate card, so effect won't work on Scattershot to pop your opponent's board. But it does give you the option to mill out your Emperor or any other, or even your Rimfire if you want. So it's definitely a 3 of. Next 3 of is going to be 3 Volcanic Blaze Accelerator. Activate this by sending 1 Blaze Accelerator, not Blaze Accelerator card, from your hand, deck, or face up on your graveyard. And once per turn, you can during your main phase, you can special summon a Volcanic monster from your hand. And once per turn, you can target 1 face-up monster your opponent controls, send 1 level 1 Pyro monster from your deck to the graveyard, and destroy that card. Really good at baiting out negations, and really good at special summoning monsters like your Volcanic Rocket or Trooper to increase your consistency. The only other pet peeve that I have about this card is that you have to send the original Blaze Accelerator. You can't send any Blaze Accelerator card, because then you could just send Blaze Accelerator Reload to utilize its effects. That's another crux that makes this deck probably a high tier deck, but I could just be spitballing here. And I'm running 3 Pot of Prosperity to just help boost the consistency, because the extra deck really isn't all that important. But yeah, and you're also going to want to run Call by the Grave because it's Call by the Grave. Now after the traps, the most important trap, 3 Blaze Accelerator Reload. I'm seeing people running only 2 of this, and I wonder if they're okay. This card is what makes this deck so powerful, especially with Scattershot. Its effect is becomes Tri-Blaze Accelerator while it's in the spell or trap card zone. And during the main phase, you can send 1 Volcanic monster from your hand to the graveyard, and if you do, draw 1 card to help increase, your consistency. And the most important effect is that during the main phase, banish this card from your graveyard, send 1 Volcanic monster from your deck to the graveyard. So, like I said, it helps with Scattershot to be a quick effect Regeki during your opponent's turn to interrupt their plays. 1 Volcanic Inferno, it's a continuous trap when your opponent activates a monster effect. On the monster effect, you can banish 1 Pyro monster from your graveyard, inflict 500 points of damage to your opponent. Then if the banished monster was a Volcanic monster, to activate this effect, you can negate the effect that your opponent's monster was attempting to activate. During your opponent's end phase, you can target up to 2 of your Volcanic monsters that are banished or in the graveyard, place them on the bottom of the deck in any order. Really good consistency too, and a good effect negation. And then 1 Volcanic Emission. Activate one of the following effects. Take 1 Volcanic monster from your deck and either add it to your hand or special summon it, ignoring its summoning conditions, but return to the hand during the end phase. And target 1 Pyro monster on the field. Inflict damage to your opponent equal to that monster's original attack. Or if the targeted monster if you targeted a monster you control, the damage is halved. This is one of the reasons why you can also run Volcanic Doomfire, because its first effect allows you to special summon it, ignoring its summoning conditions, and it's returned to the hand. So if you have this and Blade's Accelerator Reload out on the field, you activate this to summon out your Doomfire. Doomfire comes back to your hand, and if you still have this out on the board, you send this to get out your Volcanic Doomfire to inflict damage to your opponent with Doomfire's effect. So, like I said, I would run Doomfire if I had it, but unfortunately I do not. Now into the extra deck, I'm just going to go through this real quick because it's not really important. Running 2 Intest, Last Warrior, and Ultimate Falcon for the Waking the Dragon targets, along with Boral and Dragon, which is also Waking the Dragon target, or a Cherries target. And for the rest of the Cherries target, we have Sword Soul, Sky Striker, Cybers. You can trade these out for anything that you want. I don't really have much of the big Cherries targets for this current meta, but these targets still really work. And then for the generic links, we have 1 Nightmare Phoenix, 1 Salamangreat Almirage, which I'll get to in a second when we get to into the side deck, 2 Hida, 1 Pit Knight, Salamangreat Sunlight Wolf, and 1 Relinquished Anima. I don't have Linkuriboh for some reason. I either don't have it or I can't find it, but find space for Linkuriboh if you have it, because linking off your Rimfire definitely will help with this deck's consistency too. Now into the side deck, 2 Barrier Statue of the Inferno. This is where Salamangreat Almirage comes in, because if you have this have this in your hand along with Fire Recovery, you normal summon it, link it away for Almirage, and then you activate Fire Recovery to special summon back your Inferno. I mean, it's an easy combo. It's good. It's a good lockout depending on the deck that you're going up against. So yeah, that's one of the reasons why I'm citing it. You don't need to main it. You could probably main 1 if you could probably get away with maining 1 if you want, but I think citing 2 is perfectly fine. For the rest of the side deck, 2 Cherries for our Cherries target. 2 Gravekeeper's Inscription. Tier is starting to become a problem again, and this card is definitely more necessary than before. 3-Dimensional Barrier, mainly for everything, I guess, but mainly for Mana DM. I faced Mana DM with my Trap Tricks deck last night, and I absolutely got bodied by them. It's an incredibly resilient deck, and probably one of the lower decks that is gaining the most traction and on its way to becoming a top tier deck. So watch out for Mana DM. 3 Evenly Matched, because it's evenly matched, and 2 Waking the Dragon, because, it's Waking the Dragon. And that is it for the deck profile. If you guys have any questions, comments, or concerns, please put them in the comments down below. Like I said, I'm going to be doing an update for this at the beginning of next year when Bonfire comes out, because that is going to probably shoot this deck up to a much higher level of consistency. So until then, please enjoy yourselves. Please like, comment, subscribe, and I will catch you guys next time.